Morning, everyone. I hope everyone's having a fabulous start to their Tuesday morning. If you're not in Wellington, I thought I'd share with you just the outlook this morning. Up on the 9th floor of the Beehive, that is a flaming red sky out there. So if you are in Wellington and you're about to enjoy a morning walk, it is a bit gusty, but a beautiful morning out there. Look, I haven't done a little Facebook Live for a while, so I thought that I would give you a quick update on our press conference yesterday, which is the chance that we have to share all of the decisions that Cabinet made, particularly if you're interested in what's going on with our Trans-Tasman arrangements. You'll know that as of 11:59 on Sunday evening, we opened up to those states that we considered it was safe to reopen, but with the requirement now that every traveller must have a pre-departure test. But there were a few states that we hadn't yet opened up to. So we made some announcements on how we plan to deal with those. So Western Australia and Northern Territory, our health officials have told us they think that everything's looking back on track in those states and under control. So Cabinet's decision was that from the 9th of July, from 11:59 p.m, we can reopen with those states. But again, pre-departure testing within 72 hours of departure is now in place. So you have to get a test before you can jump on any of those planes coming into New Zealand. But, of course, that still leaves Queensland and New South Wales in a pause situation. And we don't intend to lift that pause at the moment. We have, however, New Zealanders who have been in those states and stuck for quite a period of time, particularly New South Wales, because you'll remember that we paused the bubble there from memory on the 22nd of June. They've been in lockdown or a form of lockdown since the 26th of June. So from 11:59 on the 9th of July, it's our view that with a pre-departure test and with a whole range of restrictions around not being able to travel if you've been in certain locations and so on, we are now willing to bring those New Zealanders home. And one of the reasons for that is because they have been in a form of lockdown for 14 days now. So just as we did with Victoria, we consider it safe to be able to bring them home again with a pre-departure test requirement. We're going to check back in on Wednesday and share a few more thoughts on what's happening in Queensland and New South Wales. We definitely don't anticipate lifting the pause on New South Wales anytime soon. Obviously, they're still seeing quite a few cases over there and they still have restrictions in place. Overall, our approach to Australia is a really cautious one. I got asked yesterday, is it worth it with this, with these restrictions you're having to put in place? And the reason we took so long before we opened up was because we anticipated we might have these issues. But our view is we'll always make decisions that are in the best interest of New Zealand. And so if that means pausing, then that is what we will do. If that means putting in pre-departure testing, then that is what we'll do, because our interest is New Zealand's interest in keeping everyone safe. So that's a bit of an update. Look, while I'm just here, a little bit of an update on some vaccine news as well. So we are up to roughly 1.2 million doses now having been given out and received by people across the country. This month, we will receive from Pfizer 1 million doses. So that gives you a sense of how much it ramps up this month, given to date. We've done 1.2 million and we received this month 1 million. That started on Sunday with the arrival of 150,000 doses. We get another similar size next week, and then we get some much bigger deliveries in the next 2 weeks following. That's really exciting because we've been planning the entire time for our vaccine rollout to be on an upward trajectory. That means training new vaccinators, vaccinating more people on a weekly basis, and just continuing to grow as we move through the weeks and as our supply increases. The reason we're so excited about this particular delivery, though, is because we've taken an approach of not to hold anything back. So we've been distributing out to district health boards and just saying vaccinate people. It meant, though, that we made the decision not to hold anything in our warehouses, so that if this delivery was late or we didn't receive on time, there was a chance we might have to move some bookings. Thankfully, it hasn't been late, so we're not having to do that. So that's really good news, and it's really good news that over the course of July, particularly by the end of July, we're going to have a much larger number of doses, much more supply, and a much greater scale in our program. So that's more good news. But, look, I was just looking at some graphs last night around the makeup of different vaccination rollouts around the world and vaccines that they're using. There's only, as far as I can see, a small handful, less than 5, 1, 2, 3 countries that are using a single vaccine in the way that we are. We made the decision at the beginning of the year, or remember, to use Pfizer, and it's a decision I stand by. It does mean that, there are some differences in our rollout relative to other countries as a result of that, but it is proving to be a really effective vaccine against things like variants, and so that's really useful for us going forward. Anyway, everyone, I thought I'd just check in on a Tuesday morning. I hope you all have a fantastic day out there, that you look after yourself, that you're in Wellington, that you hold on to your hats. It's a little windy out there, but enjoy that morning sky. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll talk to you soon. Ka kite.